This is ANN News Brief.
Reporters in Sudan say outraged protesters have gathered in several cities, including the capital Khartoum, following the killing of 5 protesters in North Kordofan state. At least 4 school children and 1 adult were shot dead when security forces broke up a student protest in El Obeid, Sudanese city on Monday. An overnight curfew was announced late on Monday in 4 towns of Sudan's North Kordofan state after the incident. Campaigners, the Sudan Professionals Association, says the ruling military council is to blame for the death and is now calling for nationwide protests. It is also demanding an immediate transfer of power to civilians. Anti-government protests have been taking place across Sudan since last year, December, that led to the removal of President Omar al-Bashir 3 months ago. Doctors linked to the opposition say nearly 130 persons have died. Authorities put the figure at 78. Moroccan King Mohammed VI has announced on Monday a new development model to tackle social inequalities, including a government reshuffle and an injection of new blood into political administrative positions in the country. King Mohammed says he welcomes progress in infrastructure and freedoms, but says the effort had not had sufficient impact. The monarch says in a speech marking 20 years of his rule, a committee will be set up to serve as an advisory body to make suggestions to improve reforms in fields such as education, health, agriculture, investment, and taxation. Special emphasis was also laid on the need to open up the economy to foreign investors and revamp the public sector. In another news, King Mohammed VI has granted royal pardons to thousands of prisoners across the country, including to some involved in protests that rocked the country in 2016 and 2017. The Justice Ministry said that 4,764 people were being granted a pardon to mark the 20th anniversary of the monarch's accession to the throne. Stay with us to be back after this message.
We are on the road every day, canvassing throughout Africa for news you really need. We follow this story everywhere, from every corner of Nigeria to the wide African expanse. We bring you what's making headlines. We connect you with news you can use. ANN, African News Network, in a truly African spirit.
It appears Senegal is tired of seeing seascapes spoiled by ever-growing amount of plastic bags. Now, authorities plan to crack down on polluters by imposing fines and further restricting plastic use. Across Senegal, plastic containers are littered across roads, often with goats and cows feeding on them. Rubbish also float in the sea. Public awareness is growing globally about the harm being done by plastic, which hurts marine life. In Senegal, a 2015 law banned the most common thing, polythene bags, but was never enforced. Environment Minister Abdelkarim Sall says they are now going to start enforcing this law in its full force. Sall said the government would introduce a new bill in the coming month to ban a wider range of plastic, including thicker shopping bags, following similar moves in Kenya and Rwanda. That's CNN News Brief. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, nnafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at NN Africa TV. I'm Lucy Ademi.